The mobile way. What's the mobile way? Well, it's when you're in the county. You don't have the right tools, but you have a beer. Do we even need anything else? Well, when you're in the county, you improvise. And that's what we're going to do today. So grab yourself a cold one, sit back, and enjoy the show. I'll do all the work. This is my 18-year-old RV I picked up. I wanted to build in the county and I needed a place to stay when I go. But it needs some repairs. It is a 2005 Winnebago Voyage 38J. And it is quite the beast. It has 3 slides and 30,000 miles. And as we're about to find out, it desperately needs a caulking job around the roof. But that's for a different video. So here's my awning. As you can see, it's ripped in the middle. It's not ripped, it's pulled away from the track. So, just as bad. And there's water underneath it, that's great. And they hook up to these tracks, one on the RV and one on a roller. And this roller is actually pretty stiff. I've replaced the largest one on here and the roller was easier to turn, but this one you have to really crank on it. On both sides of the slide there's these screws that screw down through the track, through the awning. So let's grab the tools. And as you'll find out, I do not work on the ground. Some people show up and they'll put their tools on the ground. They'll bend over 1,000 times. Just kills your back. Why do it? So I'll walk out of the screen here and look for some sawhorses I had laying out. And look at that. My RV is so shiny on bottom you can actually see what I'm doing. It needs a paint job, but I waxed it last year before winter. I cleaned the roof. Of course, sawhorses always split on you. They're kind of cheap. But they do the job. But here we are in spring. The roof's just as dirty as it was before I cleaned it. Not even by any trees. But it just gathers all the dirt. Well, now I need a table for my little workbench I'm making. So I just walk off the screen and let everyone look at a Winnebago Voyage and 2 sawhorses and a ladder. I would suggest you take another sip of the drink you got and wait for me to come back. Oh, I see my reflection. Alright, this is due. It's a nice, super clean piece of wood. It's been sitting on the ground for about 6 months. Good enough to put my tools on. I'm digging here and see what we need. Oh, there's the foreman. He showed up while I'm doing voiceovers to say hello. Hey, buddy, you want a cookie? Say hello. Good boy. Good boy. All right, I'll get back to work. That foreman sure is bossy. We'll make sure that this ladder doesn't go anywhere. It's almost sitting on my plumbing pipe, so it's not super even. So I'll just fiddle with it for a while. You might want to just take another sip on the beverage you're enjoying. Alright, I'm getting somewhere. Oh, might need my tool. Let me grab my screwdriver. And this is a little bit of a boring part where I'm fiddling with this thing and I'm set my camera up where you can barely see me because I'm on top of the screen. Hopefully there's no ad covering it, but I can't promise anything. But I had to keep cranking on this and turning it, and I could turn it, but then I couldn't hardly let go of it. And my fingers were getting pinched in there. It was just amazing. So I had to test to see if the screwdriver would actually fit in one of the holes in the side, because you can spin it around and let the screwdriver hold it. Go ahead and take another sip. It's alright. Alright. So just fiddling with a awning roller. There we go. I'm getting somewhere. So there we go. Screwdriver holding it in, keeping it from rolling out. And let me climb up a ladder. I'll take you with me. There. See, there's a hole in the side screwdriver sat in, so it can't roll back out. And ew. That's kind of gross. Well, I guess when you buy an old RV like I did, you're going to have to do some cleaning and some fixing. There's me showing that it's spring loaded there. Also testing to make sure my screwdriver isn't going to fall out. My biggest fear was if I pull hard on the track, it'll knock the screwdriver out, this thing will go rolling and it'll probably pretty much break. I don't know if you can re-roll them or not, and I don't really want to find out. So there's a screw on both sides, and I'll use this beastie drill for the screw that barely feels like it's held in at all. But I about could have pulled out my hand. I don't think it was doing much. Just a little metal tapping screw. And here's the other side. And this one I had to really crank on it and lift up on it because it didn't want to come out. So just spin it fast and lift up lightly and let it fly out. Just like that. Once again, just a little metal tapping screw. Now here's the track. Someone widened it on the end because they didn't want to take the whole cap off the back, which I wouldn't either. So that would slide out. And then on the other side, you can see the track here. And it only comes out one side, that's why the screwdriver's on the other side of the roller. But we'll pull on this and slide it out. And both sides, get this disgusting awning out of here. So, climb the ladder on this nice windy day, which it wasn't too bad. I think it was like 52 out. So, any day in February when it's 52, I will take it. It was a little stubborn. It has these little rubber strips that the awning's sewed around, and you have to get that out. And that track, it was just wide enough to barely get that out, but it worked. Once I got it going, it came on out, and it was kind of gross, and it wanted to wrap all around me and slime me. Ew. And I was pretty happy to get this thing off my head, but it tried to stay attached to me. I had to flick it. So, yeah, that's right. I'm from the 90s. Anyways, I crawled down my ladder, go pick it up and inspect it. About blew away by now. And you can see that rubber strip just hanging off the side. This thing's definitely overdue to be replaced. So that's 2 awnings I've redone on this RV. I have one more coming up. I don't think it'll be too hard, but it's not ripped yet, so I'm not worrying about it. There we go. There's the new one. And it's pretty tough. Plastic around it and tape. So I would highly recommend, if you're doing this, to use very sharp pointy knives, something long that can cut through the plastic, and just jab it into it and just slice it. It'd work out well for you. Look at that, I won. Ha! Yeah, we'll spread it out. It's pretty crinkly, but I'm sure on the roller it'll stretch out after a while, and by the time it looks straight, it'll probably rip again. I'm not sure how long these last. I'm going to carry this nasty one over to make sure it is about the same size. It actually rolled up in there twice anyways, so even if it was a little short, it'd still work. Excuse me. Make sure you clean up after yourself. Alright, so let's measure it. We're about 81 1/4. There's enough room on it to go both ways. So I marked it and sliced it. The train's conductor was proud of my work and wanted to let me know. This was probably on one of those trains at one time inside. So I finished up the cut, as I didn't want to cause confusion and delay. I had to fight the little strip at the end. It's not rubber now, it's plastic. Probably cheaper. So there I am, fiddling with it, trying to get it in there. And I soon learned here that I made a mistake. I didn't realize one side has a thicker piece of plastic than the other. So I swapped it. And I kept fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. In fact, it was a complete pain in the neck. That thing did not want to slide. I put some WD-40 in the track. I don't think it did anything. And I know it looks like I'm making progress, but in real time, I actually don't know how long this took. I just fast forwarded it. It was a pain, and if you got one side sliding, then the other side would catch. The large slide I replaced, it didn't give me this much trouble at all. So, go figure. That's how it usually works. When you think you got something easy, you don't. But so far, we've made it this far. Let me shake my hand there. Now, you may want to go ahead and take another sip on your favorite beverage and just watch me work. It wasn't that fun. Moving the ladder so we can get an inch here, an inch there, back and forth. Ladder work, gotta love it. You wake up the next day, your feet will hurt. Well, if you're over, 40. But whatever, that's life. And this is where I realized my workbench has to move. Shoot. Yeah, I have moves. At this point, I was sick of this tarp, and I was about ready to start talking like this song sounds. So let me fast forward it for you. Just a little pulling here, a little tugging there, a little pulling here, a little tugging there. At least I had half of it on, so even if the screwdriver fell out now, it would roll all the way up on me. Might be a pain, but... And then you get bunched up, so I come down, feed it in the best I can. I was actually able to push part of it in there. But like I said, you get one side in there, and you'd have to pull on the other side. And back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth, and up and down. Eventually, we about get her on there. And then I realized I have a problem. When I went to feed it up, the side on the roller had a piece of that plastic sticking out probably 3 inches. And there was nowhere for the plastic to come out of the track once I got it all the way up by the screwdriver. So there I am looking at it like, okay, what am I doing? And I thought, am I going to pull this thing all the way out? So I try to find what I can. So I get a flat screwdriver and a pair of scissors. And there's just one little slither in there. And I was able to finally get it to barely pop out. And plastic was actually kind of soft once I started messing with it. You could cut it with scissors, break it with the screwdriver. And I just kept wiggling it, and fighting it, and pulling on it. Yeah, it sucked. But we got her done the mobile way. Like I said, when you're in the county, you don't want to drive into town for something stupid. So you use what you got. But now that I got that, the other side was sticking. So the roller's in good. I will slide that in, but it just slid right in. And look at that sail up there. That's a perfect sail. I could have took off. So I'm pulling on that a little bit, just to make sure I'm happy with it. And I am, so I take it out and roll it up. Nice and tight. New awning. So, throw the screw back in there. Take the ladder over. And put the other screw back in. Add it in my pocket. Woohoo! So, we're ready for another year of building. And where are we building? Right here. We're already parked next to it. There's my 4 stakes. I have the house staked out. It's going to be a 27 by 40 house. And this one's going to be a little different. This is going to be a mini barn-dominium. That's right. But it's built residential. It's on a slab with footings. It's studded and trussed. It's just a little house with a metal exterior and a metal roof. I've always wanted to do one. Sounds like fun. You guys are welcome to come along for the ride. I can't say I'm the most exciting person to watch. And I can't promise I'll show you how to do anything right. And I make no guarantees on that. But we'll get it done. Well, if you're still watching for some strange reason, and you actually like this video, then go ahead and like it and subscribe. There will be more to come.